The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, today is Thursday, March 11th. Please let me know. Is it 11th? Is it 11th?
13th.
It's 13th?
Because tomorrow
It's
is
the 14th.
Friday the 14th.
I know Friday is the 14th.
Because February only had 28 days, so the March will duplicate.
I work overnight. Days of the week, I do not know. They just come and go. Only day I know is payday. Payday is Friday. I know that day. I know that day. But it is apparently the 13th. It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. And once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today. I just met Vanessa Bethel just now. She has one L, right? And I said, all the one L Bethels I knew, I thought was black. I thought all Bethels with two L's were white. But you don't know, she's a white one that has one L.
And then she explained that some of the Bethels couldn't afford the extra L.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
That's what happened. And, you know, surnames are important to me. I love Bahamian surnames. I love the narrative of it and how we are related and not related, how we have same heritage. So that's why I found entertaining. So I was shooting the breeze just now, just trying to know her family lying and being entertained by that. Forget that I have a show to run and I had to get run inside by Kermit. So we forget the show done started. And I said, but I just meet my cousin, Vanessa Bethel, and, you know, I'm trying to do that genealogy thing. But enough of that. Today, I want us to concentrate on one subject area. And thanks very much for joining me today.
Our Cuban cousins?
We can talk about Cuba.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know that I have Hispanic family. I mean, I have Newrys that live in Honduras, but we immigrate there, right? And then start a whole light-skinned clan. Yeah,
okay.
Line of Newrys, right? But today, I want to talk about Cuba. I want to talk about the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and Cuba. I want to talk about BIM. You know what BIM is?
It's a Friday evening.
No. BIM is another name for Barbados.
You mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about BIM.
Okay.
Because Mia Motley gave a speech. Say, man, it's about principle. She used that principle with the L-E and not the principle with the A-L. So I wanted to have her in the discussion. We had a caller who called about 2 days ago. I think it was on Monday when we had an open line. And said, how come we're not talking about the United States and the Secretary? What is Secretary Rubio? Secretary Rubio?
Marco Rubio.
Yeah. And his statement about taking away visas.
Expansion of the U.S. visa restriction policy on Cuban labor. They call it Cuban forced labor.
And we want to investigate that too, whether it is Cuban forced labor, because our Prime Minister said he's going to interrogate the law and see what it is that we are doing. So he gave an official statement today. He gave an official yesterday.
Yeah.
He gave an official statement yesterday, and he said he's going to give a secondary statement after he reviewed the agreement that we have with Cuba. But he said from all he knows, we don't have no forced labor, no Cuban forced labor here. In fact, we have a good contract. We pay them whatever it is, but he's going to review. And that's because other nations are already up in arms, whereas our Prime Minister say, before I speak, let me make sure, dot all the T's. No, T's don't get dotted. Dot all the I's and cross all the T's. So we'll wait until he comes. But today we're doing some interrogation. Today we're doing some interrogation by going through the news, going through some articles. If you want to participate in this, you can call us at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. And of course, you will call from Grand Bahama and those family islands in general. You can do the 242-300-5720. And what do we know about what's happening now?
All right, so we've had the statement on the expansion of the visa restriction policy was released on the 25th of February. It was published by the U.S. State Department, right?
There was already a policy that exists.
Yeah.
And now there's an expansion of that policy. And I was arguing whether that has been official as yet, and apparently is an official thing.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I think the policy in its original state restricted visas for Cuban diplomats who were involved in the program, right? The expansion, I think this...
No, you're going fast. So you're saying that Cubans who were involved in the program, visas were taken.
Yeah.
Okay, are these diplomats or these were members of parliament? And when I say diplomat, they have the embassies and they have diplomats that travel to represent Cuba. Who exactly visas were taken?
Well, I think Okay, so the expanded policy applies to current or former Cuban government officials and other individuals, including foreign government officials. So I think the initial policy was current Cuban government officials. So they use officials and not diplomats. So I think it could be MPs. It could be representatives as well as diplomatic officers, right? People who are working in the diplomatic service directly.
Okay.
The expanded policy, I think, now includes other individuals, including foreign government officials who are believed to be responsible for or involved in the Cuban labor export program.
Who are believed to be involved. I wonder how they can find that information out. But go ahead.
Right? And it applies to the immediate family of such persons.
So if people get exposed people.
Politically exposed people.
Okay.
So people, I guess I imagine if we have legislation requiring or like a registration of PEPs, that it would be those people. Like, so your wife, your children. Yeah.
Okay. So let's read the updated so people listening in the audience will understand where we starting our conversation from.
All right, so we're going to read from the statement issued by the U.S. State Department on the 25th of February, 2025. Expansion of visa restrictions policy for individuals exploiting Cuban labor. Today, we announce the expansion of an existing Cuba-related visa restriction policy that targets forced labor linked to the Cuban labor export program.
Can I pause you there? Or
Yeah, you can pause.
What do you mean by exploitation of Cuban labor?
Okay, so essentially the U.S. is claiming that the nature of the program is exploitative, right? That your government organizes employment for you. They organize for you to be paid at the same rate as any other individual that has that job in that jurisdiction. But you, the laborer, the worker, you don't receive that full pay, I imagine. That you
That's
receive
exploitation.
a
That can't
portion of that pay. That is what is being alleged.
So there might be some claims. There might be some claims. If you said that the employee is supposed to get $700 and they only getting $400.
No. See, on the face of that, if you say you're going to be paid $700,
The employee.
the employee will be paid $700, but they only receive $400 every time they get their paycheck. That's a problem. But what if I signed on to a program understanding that the government will be paid $700 for my labor, right, for my participation in the program, and I will be paid by my government $400.
And we may have to explore our laws on that.
Right. Now, see, because I think that's where if there were an argument, that's where it sits, right?
Let's change it a bit. If someone negotiated for me to get minimum wage, right? And I work, and I now, because I sign a contract with the people who employ me to get less than minimum wage, but I sign a contract. isn't that exploitation? Because the minimum wage is the minimum wage. I got to get minimum wage.
The Bahamian, and there's a perfect example. I think we saw that arise where a security guard, he challenged the policy of his employer. He alleged that the employer required staff to sign a document waiving their right to overtime pay.
Yes.
I think the ruling from the court was that you cannot waive a constitutional right. There's a principle in law. It may not be that you cannot consent to an assault.
Yes.
You can't say, yes, you could punch me in my eye till it bleed. You can't say that, right? The law doesn't accept, you could say it, the law doesn't accept it. So in the same way, you can't, I think maybe we could use it as an example. I can't sign away my right.
My right.
You can, and further, you are essentially forcing me. You're saying if you want this job, you have to sign away your right to something.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
in the Bahamas, our constitution trumps everyone else's constitution. Their
Exactly.
constitution doesn't matter. We don't care what you want to do in your land, but in our land, our laws trumps all.
Right, but so okay, see, that's minimum wage. I imagine the mechanism to get around that is I pay them more than minimum wage. Like what they get, because here's the question, say it's 700, 400, right? If what the employee receives isn't under minimum wage, it is at minimum wage or just at minimum wage, have we breached the Bahamian law? You see what I'm saying?
And that's what we interrogate. But so what I see you call up, but I haven't had Erin read the article, so I'm going to go quiet now. Call it. You can listen. She can read this story, then we'll come right after you.
All right.
Go
And so
ahead.
again, we are reading the document published by the U.S. State Department on the 25th of February, 2025, expansion of visa restrictions policy for individuals exploiting Cuban labor. Today, we announce the expansion of an existing Cuba-related visa restriction policy that targets forced labor linked to the Cuban labor export program. This expanded policy applies to current or former Cuban government officials and other individuals, including foreign government officials, who are believed to be responsible for or involved in the Cuban labor export program, particularly Cuba's overseas medical missions. This policy also applies to the immediate family of such persons. The department has already taken steps to impose visa restrictions on several individuals, including Venezuela. Cuba continues to profit from the forced labor of its workers, and the regime's abusive and coercive labor practices are well documented. Cuba's labor export programs, which include the medical missions, enrich the Cuban regime, and in the case of Cuba's overseas medical missions, deprive ordinary Cubans of the medical care they desperately need in their home country. The United States is committed to countering forced labor practices around the globe. To do so, we must promote accountability, not just for Cuban officials responsible for these policies, but also those complicit in the exploitation and forced labor of Cuban workers. This visa restriction policy is taken pursuant to Section 212A.3.C of the Immigration and Nationality Act. I know you want to go to the caller.
Just making sure you finish.
Yeah, I just want to say these two words that I want to get back to. Private prisons.
Yes. The United States police the Western Hemisphere. When I say Western Hemisphere, I'm talking about the Americas in general. North and South America, which includes the Caribbean.
They have appointed themselves as
I think that's the Monroe.
the Monroe Doctrine was to essentially remove the monarchies, right? To cut away the monarchical ties in the
Any expansion of military bases also, something to that effect.
of those.
But in essence, they still police this entire area. They're the moral compass.
No, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to say no. I meant to say.
You don't think they're the moral compass?
I meant to say
Self-appointed moral compass.
self-appointed.
Yeah, they're the moral compass.
No, self-appointed.
Yeah, it's still self-appointed.
Yeah.
Now we know they say, "Man, we can police you all. This is what you're supposed
Yeah,
to be
like
doing."
like
But
private.
we know.
like private prisons.
Yeah, we right. But all the lines blinking. Okay, let me stop now to include the callers in this conversation. They have a position where they said that there's some abuses happening in Cuba. They outline what they think the abuses are. They prepared to police it. Full stop. They say this is what they're going to do.
But just as you go to the caller, did they mention Guantanamo Bay?
We talk about.
I just say Cuba and abuses in Cuba. I
yeah.
just wondered if they mentioned it.
Can a fly bully an elephant? No, You can make noise all you want.
Yeah, but a mosquito could bully a human.
That's human. We talk about elephants, though. You get squat. You land the wrong place. You get squat. Let's go to the caller. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM, of course, is CA Newry. Aaron Graham's with me. We're talking Cuban all day. We're talking about Cuban doctors, Cuban Spanish teachers, and we're talking about
Cuban engineers.
Who fixes elevators and stuff. But anyway, go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Green. Good morning, Mr. Newry.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This type of situation has been happening globally for a long period of time. So it really isn't nothing new. Do you have countries like the Philippines, Panama, Ukraine, who export their persons through their government and government agencies to cruise lines, other companies? The money goes to the company itself or the government, and then the persons are paid. Once they get back home, they don't even receive any money while they're actually working the job. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a global issue that I don't know if we as Bahamians stuck in a box or something like that, but this has been happening for the past 30, 40 years now, globally.
All right, so let me ask you a quick question, right? Let's make a distinction between Cuba and the Bahamas. The Bahamas is not under an embargo, right? We're not under embargo. Cuba is under an embargo, and some would say a USA-led embargo, right?
Correct.
Is it the same thing? A health brigade or labor brigade operating from the Bahamas where employees are paid, the contract requires the country they're working in to pay their government a sum, and then the employees get a reduced sum, right? With things extracted from it. Would that be the same if it was happening in the Bahamas as it is happening in Cuba?
Well, in terms of that question, when you look at the U.S., they just initiate everything and push things on you, because in South Florida, that's mostly in Miami, and further down south, that's mostly Cuban persons who live in that part of the country, correct? Mm-hmm. And they fight for Cuba on their end, saying the same rhetoric that against what Rubio is saying now, fighting against them in their country. But when when they are against weaker countries, you understand, not their own citizenry, then they try to push their bully you into falling in line, but they don't do it to their own citizenry. You understand what I'm getting at?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
the people down there are fighting for their people in Cuba every day, and you don't hear anything about it.
Oh, I'm agreeing with you. I mean, but here's what I mean. I appreciate what it is you're saying. That's a great, lens on the landscape that you have. I just think, without stepping on any elephant's toes, right? Yeah. I think it's not unreasonable to make that distinction, right? And to ask if the U.S.'s critique of the Cuban labor program is valid if they do not actually iterate or reference the fact that they are leading the charge for the embargo, right? It's like we like to say, oh, look at them black crabs tearing each other down, but we never really acknowledge that the pen, the cage, is not the crab's natural habitat, right? Anyway, it's a very, very complex conversation. I think we go into a break and we transition into another segment now, but we're going to continue this conversation over the next few days because this is one of those local, regional, and global conversations, right, that we need to be a part of on every level, at the local level, at the regional level, and at the global level.
Yes, this has been Guardian Radio AM, of course, and CA Newry. Call, I see you. We'll take it up on the next side. We'll be right back.
Only for a while, then they forget about you like you're going on.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good for nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone. Yes, girl, everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Car 29. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
KB and Sting, coming with the Bohemian ting. Come on. Woo! Oh, yeah. Yes.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, this is C.A. Newry, and I'm your host for the day. We just got special guests inside, and we are kind of excited about it. Around the Bahamas National Spelling Bee. Is it an association or just Bahamas National Spelling Bee?
It's a non-profit organization, just the Bahamas National Spelling Bee Committee.
Yes, and the person you heard speaking just now is Miss Celestina Cooper-Williams, who's the chairperson of the Bahamas National Spelling Bee competition, everything. And they're having a big competition happening on Sunday, the 16th of March. What time is that?
It starts at 3 p.m.
Yes, but I want you to give us a rundown on the competition in general, any history and any kind of insight of that.
Sure. Good morning, Bahamas. As was stated earlier, my name is Mrs. Celestina Cooper-Williams, and I am the chairperson of the Bahamas National Spelling Bee, a nonprofit organization. And we are here in the studio to speak about our 28th annual Spelling Bee competition that is going to happen on Sunday, the 16th of March at 3 p.m. in the Sea Breeze Ballroom at Super Club Breezes in Cable Beach. But a little bit, that's enough about me. I want to just talk about the contestants. This year we have 24 contestants, 12 from our family of islands and 12 from New Providence. And it's an even in distribution. We have 12 boys and 12 girls. And one of the things that is so interesting about about the makeup of our contestants this year is that we have a very diverse group of finalists. We have a young lady who is confined to the wheelchair, Melissa from St. Andrews, and we have a young man who is autistic, but he won in the Southern New Providence district. And so we are so pleased of all of our contestants who are going to be in this competition. This is our Bee Week. And right now we're doing a number of courtesy calls. We had a courtesy call with the Commissioner of Police this morning. and the other group is BPL. And later this afternoon, we will have a courtesy call with our Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin. And so we have a lot of activities planned, but, enough about that. I'm going to allow our contestants to introduce themselves.
Okay, you just mentioned Glenys Hannah Martin. We get to say one more time. I hope all the finalists, because I know you're all busy studying, you all got to see the Baton of Camaraderie relay run yesterday with the Minister, Glenys Hannah Martin, starting off the relay run with her 30-meter dash sprint. It was wonderful. I just want to say it's great to see these opportunities to celebrate a culture of appreciation for education and academic life.
So in studio we have Mr. Rav Bellini, okay, and also you can use my mic. I'm sorry, and also Miss
Isabella
Safrine, and they're representing their schools. They're going to have them formally introduce themselves because I want to ask them, how did you get involved in this? How was the spelling bee competition? Is it nerve-wracking? How did you prepare for it? But I'll give, without further ado, I'll give you the mic.
And of course, the best question, what's the longest word that you have spelled correctly?
Yeah. Well, everybody, my name is Arav Balani. I am 13 years old and an 8th grader at Lyford Key International School. A few weeks ago, last month, I won the BAISS District Spelling Bee, and therefore I advanced to the national competition, which will be happening this Sunday. Some things that help me study are I often study with my mom and my coach. We use the Word Club app, and we often test spelling words and doing vocabulary questions. And I've been spelling ever since I was very little. I always loved to spell, and my mom truly helped me get better as a child.
Did your parents used to try and spell words around you to sort of prevent you from understanding what they were talking about? And that didn't, because that inspired me to spell. I'll be honest, that inspired me to spell.
Well, I don't really think they did. They just felt that, when I was young, they saw that I had a bit of talent for it, and I also enjoyed doing it as a child.
Awesome.
So that really helped motivate me and become better.
Absolutely. Isabella.
Hello, my name is Isabella Sufrine. I attend San Salvador Central, and I represent the South Central District.
I didn't hear the high school again. Say again.
Yeah. San Salvador Central High School.
Oh, you're from San Sal. Oh, okay, nice. And what grade are you in?
Grade 8.
Nice. So coming from the family island, right? Flying over and to come back to Nassau, New Providence. How has that been? Were you like nerve-wracking? Oh God, I gotta spell against.
It wasn't bad flying over. I felt pretty good about myself. Like I knew that I had worked hard, and I reaped rewards by being able to come over to Nassau and meet other contestants and make it to the nationals. It felt really good.
Okay, so you're here now in Nassau, right? How long have you been here for the competition? You just arrived today? You arrived yesterday?
We arrived yesterday.
Okay, and you stayed in the hotel? I don't know the whole experience because I couldn't spell anything.
Yeah, we arrived in the hotel comfort suites.
Nice. And with your entire family? Your mom, your dad? Who all came?
My mother came with me. And my coach.
Okay.
But Newry, why you expect her to have tribulation? She from San Salvador. You know what they do as extracurricular activity in San Salvador?
What do they do for extracurricular?
They catch and wrestle flamingo. They catch and wrestle and then release them. They brave young people in San Salvador, man.
Okay. Talking to Miss Cooper Williams, right? You said there's 24 contestants.
Yes, there are.
Right? How can you explain the whole process of how the competition comes about? And then we go back to the contestants again about the experiences.
Sure. The competition really begins at the school-based level, where all of the schools are required to have their individual competitions where they identify their best spellers. From that level, those top 3 contestants are invited to participate in a district competition. And so the district competition is the one that is organized by the district office, but supervised by the Bahamas National Spelling Bee so that we are standardized in what is done. From that competition, the finalists are crowned. And so these 24 contestants that I speak about, these are actually the top of the top spellers. And so they are the top spellers at their schools, and they are the top spellers in their districts. And we're talking about a district, let's say, for example, like Grand Bahama, that has about 32 schools or more. Even the BAISS is also a very big district. So the feat itself is an accomplishment. It's a very great feat for these finalists to make it to this level. So on Sunday, the 24 finalists will compete among themselves, and we will crown the champion. And I want to say that the 2 top spellers from that competition will get the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C., where they will participate in Scripps National Spelling Bee. And that is important because this year, Scripps is celebrating 100 years.
Wow.
And so they will have an opportunity to spell with over 200 spellers from around the world.
That's an experience.
All right. I got questions for the spellers, right? What's the most complicated word you've spelled correctly in training, right? And what's the most interesting word that you've had to attack on the stage? Say, man, I ain't familiar with you, but I can make it work. I can figure out how to spell you right now.
Well, one of the toughest words I know, which has never come in competition, is actually the longest word in the dictionary. It's pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
Because when we was young, it was anti-disestablishmentarianism. Like, that was the longest one. But you got us that little longer. Okay.
Well, the hardest word I got, it was in training since it didn't come into the spelling bee, was clinkit. Like, it's spelled Tlinggit. Like, it didn't sound like how it was spelled. It was so weird.
Pronounce it again.
Clinkit.
And what's a clinkit?
Like, it's a group. It's a group of people living in Alaska. They are like rural and stuff.
Okay, and they
Yeah.
live in a clinkit. I was going to say
spell
they
it
live in
ag-
a pack of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spell it again.
Tlinggit. Clinkit.
Clinkit, but look here.
I don't see how
But
the letter
it's-
T get inside that.
That's okay, because obviously Bahamians migrated to Alaska. Okay, obviously they migrated to Alaska and they figuring it out. They working it out. Remember, you say you have 3% Irish blood in you?
Yes, I'm 3% Irish.
Well, I bet you them Alaskans have 3% Bahamian blood in
That's
them.
what it is.
That's a Bahamian word.
I see we have a telephone caller, but I see Beleni mentioned vocabulary words, right? And do I need to know vocabulary in order to be a good speller? And why exactly? Because I see on competitions, right? The person asks, can you say it in a sentence? Can you give me the definition of it? And then they're able to spell it. Is that a true thing, or do people just buying time to get extra time to think it inside their head?
It's important, and whenever I learn a new word, I always try and get the definition along with it, because in the National Spelling Bee and as well as in Scripps, there is vocabulary rounds after the spelling rounds where you're given multiple options and a word, and you have to choose the correct definition of that word to advance on.
Okay, so it's an integral part of the competition.
It is a
Right, see,
part,
we have some callers on. Now, callers, y'all don't be asking these young students put on those headphones, no heavy, hard questions. Newry, turn up my volume and we could share that mic. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Newry, Aaron, and to your panel. I'm calling because of last week, I think you had Miss Brown and her son, who is an 8th grade autistic student that's supposed to be in the contest, right?
Yes.
That was on your show.
Well, I'm not sure if they were. Yep. Come on, let's go.
Yes.
Yes, he's
I'm
one of
also-
our contestants. Seth Brown.
Yeah. Hello, pardon me?
Seth, Seth Brown. He's one of our contestants, our finalist.
Sherelle Brown.
Seth, Seth.
Right. Yeah, because I wanted to connect with her to get in contact because I had mentioned with the autistic part of it with Dr. Smith that lives in New Jersey and her husband. And I wanted to link with her, but I got in contact with their brother, who is the police in Turtle Key. I think he knows her because
I got
she
you.
was the police in Harbor Cove.
So here's what I need you to do. Hold the line, give your number to the producer, and I will share your contact with Miss Cooper Williams, and then she will share your contact with the family, and they will reach out to you at their convenience or availability. So don't hang up. Producer, let's go to the next caller quickly. Y'all know how to spell directly? I come into you directly, caller.
I'm going to ask for definition. I'm going to ask for Bellini.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, Mr. Newry, and the teacher, and to all of the champions, the students inside the room. Ms. Green, like how you wanted to ask the question, but the longest word.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could maybe get this question in for me. I was wondering, like, for the years we've been doing it, so let's say after this to Washington. So I was wondering, how far did the Bahamas personnel or the person who represented I'm the student, what is the farthest we ever made it? If we made it like to the final, the last five, or if the lady know. Then I wanted to know, I think for the years I've been hearing about this, the Guardian used to be a part of it, the Guardian papers, and I was wondering like if I'm correct, if they still like sponsored, work along with it. And one of the names I can remember is, Mom, I don't know if you've been around long or you just reached. I was wondering like if you would have know of Charles Carter, and should we expect maybe in the future, upcoming years, that persons like Charles Carter, when we reach to the Sunday where we go to the hotel and have the competition, that we would memorize them or do something, or maybe you all already do it and I just don't know. But congratulations to them. They sound like a group of smart students we should be proud of. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you. So 2 questions. How far has a Bahamian student gone in the competition and the highest level they've achieved? And then I think the second is recognizing that there may have been a partnership with the Guardian. There are 2 wonderful articles about this year's competition in the Nassau Guardian. So if you just search, like I did on my phone just now, Nassau Guardian Spelling Bee 2025, 2 articles will come up. One I'm looking at now is the countdown is on to the National Spelling Bee. And I guess the second part of that is, has the Spelling Bee considered naming a patron, even if posthumously, and I think he is recommending Charles Carter. See, because Charles Carter is, first of all, Miss Sufreen and Mr. Bellani, do you all know who Charles Carter is?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we can wait on that. He's a culturalist. He's a politician. He is a educator of sorts, but he's about music and culture. And he had a store called Cody's. But that's how I know how to spell Chicago, because of Charles Carter. Chicken in the car and the car can't go. That's how you spell Chicago, right? That's a popular lyric in a Bahamian song. And so that's what he was saying, how far have you advanced and the future of the event.
Okay, thank you very much for your question, caller. First of all, I want to say that our students have performed very well. I want to highlight in particular one of our students from Life at Key International by the name of Roy Seligman. He came 4th in the scripts. Unfortunately, I cannot give you the exact year.
He competed twice.
Yeah, but it's like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, very, very recently.
Yes,
yeah.
It is very recent because I think last year or year before last was his last year to be eligible to participate in the Bahamas National Spelling Bee. But even after Roy, we've had some students that have mentioned who made it as far as the quarterfinals.
Congratulations,
was it the quarterfinals? Yes, and that within itself is an accomplishment when you talk about 202 students. So that is an accomplishment. So now to answer your question, the Nassau Guardian is, yes, it is still one of our sponsors, along with a lot of other sponsors that we have. And if, since you brought it up, I just want to highlight, of course, that the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training is the organization that puts on this competition, that gives us that backing. We have Bahamas Power and Light, which is one of our major sponsors. We also have Commonwealth Bank, Sun Oil, Grace Kennedy, Bahamas Hotel Catering, and Allied Workers Union. Those are just some of our top sponsorship.
Let's just for a moment highlight how important the sponsorship is, and not just making fun of BPL, but children need the best learning environment. They don't need any obstacles or barriers to learning and dedicating themselves to this academic life. And so those sponsors and partnerships are so important, because all of our children forward if we focus on ensuring they have access to the right learning environments.
Yes, that is correct. And one of the things that Isabella highlighted earlier, She noted that she's from San Salvador. I want to note that it is our sponsors that paid for the air transportation of our children, or the airfare for our children to get over here to New Providence in order to participate, because we are a nonprofit organization. So I want to highlight that in particular. And the prize money that our two winners are going to receive also comes through sponsorship.
Hold on, they're getting money, not just like resources.
They are getting cash. So they're going to get, our winner is going to get $1,000, and we've increased it. Our second place winner is going to get $750. Our third place will get $500. In addition to that, we have custom computers. So our winner will get a computer. We have Sunal's watch and clock. That the three top winners will get watches.
Nice.
And then last but not least, Bahamas Hotel and Catering and Allied Workers Union will give an additional $500 besides the sponsorship that they've already given, spending money to our winner.
That's nice, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I was going to ask if what the sponsorship covers, the hotel and the airfare, but here we have another caller here I want us to engage in. Caller, can you hear me? Go ahead, caller, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello, Newry. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, he can hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling back because I also wanted to congratulate the young lady from San Salvador. And Aaron, I mentioned on Monday about the Farquharson's estate from Watlands Island, San Salvador record.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have gotten the correct recording of it, but they say they have a courtesy call with the Minister of Education, right?
They say repeat that.
Afternoon?
Yes, this afternoon at 2 p.m.
Yeah, because to correct that, I would like for them to find out from the minister what it would be, and someone could contact me. I left my number.
Okay, I'll contact you after the show, as soon as the show's over. I know you want to say something, Mr. Newry. I just want to tell these children that you're getting prize money when you win. If your parents try to take your money from you, tell them they got to spell a word. And the word they got to spell is not quadrillion, because you know how much a quadrillion is? That's how much we need to fix the debt. The point is, you need to have them spell novem decillion. That's 1 times 10 to the 60th power. Tell them if they want to touch your money, they need to spell big words for you, okay? Also, since the guy called from San Salvador, I tell you they wasn't going to make them fly the flamingo over from...
Yeah, but I'm glad
you said flamingo, I said flamingo, but I tell you they wasn't going to do that.
So Ms. Cooper Williams, right? Sunday, the 16th of March, right, will be the competition. That's Sunday coming, right? Will it be aired live that I can watch it and cheer on, right? Because now I know 2 of the contestants. I can cheer on somebody, right?
Unfortunately, it will not be aired live, and the reason being, and I know some persons are going to say, but we used to do it in the past. Scripts. We are governed by Scripps National Spelling Bee, and the words that are going to be used are used all around the world. So it's going to be recorded, but it's going to be aired at a later date.
Okay.
So that is why it's not going to be
Can I
live.
still come and watch?
Yes, you can.
Is there a prize for this?
There is no prize. It's open to the public. A favorite contestant that you would
I didn't
like
know
to
two.
No, hold on. You have at least 3, sir.
Okay, then I have 3.
I just saying because Camden Green,
Yo,
my
your family.
grandnephew,
Yeah, your family.
he's a part of the...
That's your family. I'm pulling for Safrine and I'm pulling for Belani.
Hold on.
You don't want to win. I surprise.
Okay, good. Hold on, but let's just put it on the table.
I didn't have my favorite.
He's Hannah Hasty Tynes.
Okay, that's 3.
So now I pull in for Sufrine because she have relation to St. Lucia, and I swear I'm from St. Lucia too.
Yeah.
And my friend here, Arav, well, he done been there. You have odds with you because you have the experience, right? Like, so I hope you share with some of your competitors a bit of what you use to calm the nerves, to settle yourself and prepare for the competition.
Also, Ms. Cooper Williams, do you have a list of all the spellers with you? I didn't actually before, but I just want to give them recognition so people can hear the names and so they can show up and say, okay, I come and support them. Also, the schools they come.
I can give you the districts. Okay, so we have representing Abaco.
Yeah.
We have Shadina, Dormias. From North Andros, we have Fletcher Roll. South Andros, Christian Bean. From Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys, we have Tyrell Thompson and Camden Green. From Eleuthera, we have 2 contestants. We have Eliana Green and Bria Curry. From Exuma, we have Celine Roll. From Cat Island, we have Jasmine Clare. From Crooked Island, we have Isila Farquharson. From San Salvador, we have Isabella Sufrian. Representing the associate schools, we have Alexander Brainen and Yalvatin Quant. The BAISS, we have Arav Belani, who's in studio with us. We have Karen Turnquest and Melissa Jerez Cruz. Representing the Catholic Board of Education, we have Sean Cargill Jr. and Matt Alacala. From our Eastern New Providence Primary District, we have Tian Bain, Bradnika Develas. From our Northern New Providence District, we have Caden Analus. From our Southern New Providence Secondary District, this is the young man, the autistic young man that we spoke of, Seth Brown. And finally, from our Western New Providence District, we have Krishante Bethel and Nathaniel Wiley. So those are the 24 contestants.
Ms. Cooper Williams, you also mentioned associate schools. I'm not familiar with that term.
Associate schools just simply means these are our small private schools that are not a part of the BAISS.
Okay. And they included also. Good.
Yes, sir.
You also mentioned touring. This is one of the tour stops that you've done. You went to the commissioner office of some sort.
Yes, that's correct. This morning we met with our new commissioner of police,
Commissioner Shanta Knowles.
Shanta Knowles, correct. And that was just amazing. And right now the delegation is at BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, meeting with the CEO, Miss Tony Seymour.
Mm-hmm.
And this afternoon, the delegation will meet with our Minister of Education, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin.
I hope they have food. Every touring, you need to at least provide some sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, they got to feed the children.
We got to feed the children.
I mean,
apple juice of some sort.
Right, like we talk about creating an enabling environment. The school breakfast program, right, is such a wonderful program because it ensures at the very least you could start your school day on the right footing. Because we cracking jokes, but food is important. Fueling the body and feeding the brain, those are important, right? And so on your academic life, there are other parts of life that lend to building the academic life. And you got to have some fun too.
Arav, this is your second time competing. How is that? I mean, third time. Look at you. The best spell in the district. You just outspelling them. And therefore I got to represent again. Tell me about this third time experience and compare it to your first time competing and now this being your third time. And I guess it's going to be, if you happen to win, at least you went away twice to represent the Bahamas so far, right? Only once. Tell me all of that.
So I entered the National Spelling Bee first when I was in 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back when Roy was competing. So he used to do very good. And he won basically every year that he participated.
Mm-hmm.
But since that was my first time, I wasn't very experienced and I wasn't really sure what to do. So I didn't do quite good that time. And the year after that, I did not qualify for nationals. And I think that was what really motivated me to work harder. And the year after that, which was last year, I qualified and advanced to nationals. And I was able to win and go on to Scripps. Good for you. And
sorry, that's what the other young people say, bam, 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 to celebrate your accomplishments. Yeah, okay, so let's go to the phone line quickly. And thank you, Arav, for that. Good morning, caller.
Hey, none of those student names are representing for Grand Bahama Freeport.
Yes, hold on, we went through that. First of all, Camden Green of the Hannah Hasty Tynes family, son of Oscar Green, grandson of Bernard Green, great-grandson of Una, going to be representing for Grand Bahama along with
Tyrell Thompson.
Yeah.
So we have 2 representatives from Grand Bahama.
Absolutely.
Let me ask one of the last questions to Isabella. Coming from a family island, coming from San Salvador. First of all, how many schools in San Salvador? High schools there is?
There's only one high school in San Salvador and one primary school.
Oh, okay. So you just had to outspell them.
Yeah, like.
And this is your first competition here, or you participated last year or some sort?
This is my first national competition, but I participated in district twice.
Okay. And you're in the 8th grade now, so you have some time before you finish high school?
Yeah, so.
And then you come into a UB? We ain't know yet.
I'm not sure.
Sure, yes.
Mr. Newry, ask Isabella what all of the badges on her tie, the pins on her tie represent.
Go ahead.
So those represent my, like, every award ceremony. I tend to get very high in school. I've gotten principals lists every time I've been in the school since 7th grade.
Okay.
I also got an honor roll pin, and I got a lot of trophies.
Nice.
As a result of like my hard to school and academics.
I need to come out to this competition. This is going to be an excellent competition.
Newry, she's decent people. I would have carried my trophies. I would have carried, Bahamas Air would have been like, Miss, where you going with all these trophies?
You just vain. And to remind us again, Miss Williams, about the competition, I need the date and time and everything. We're about to end the program. So tell us on how we can come and participate and support these spellers.
Certainly. The final Bahamas National Spelling Bee competition will be held this coming Sunday, the 16th of March at 3 p.m. It's going to be held in the Sea Breeze Ballroom at Super Club Breezes Resort, Cable Beach. And there is an open invitation. And so once again, if you have a favorite contestant, a relative, a grandnephew, you are invited to attend.
Nice. I'm excited. I mean, that's a good sell, especially seeing Bahamians performing at such a high level, especially all the schools in the Bahamas participating. I just want to congratulate all the spellers. And now my 2 favorites, at least I have 3 favorites right here, Aaron.
I will be honest with you, I have 24 favorites.
Oh, okay. So Isabella Safrin, congratulations and good luck. And of course, Arav Balani, congratulations and good luck. I shall be cheering for you. And also Mr. Green.
I cheered for everybody.
No, he's my favorite, so.
I mean, we know them. I know them. Hand, and I know Camden.
Yes. And then
and the other Green girl, Eliana Green, I mean, whether you use my family or not, I claiming you.
Yes. And as you meet the Minister of Education and go on your tours, I hope they have some good snacks. I like snacks.
Let Arav hear that song.
No, hold on, Raf. Get involved. There you go. This has been Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. Again, Ms. I can try my noses. Have so much less.
Celestina.
Thanks. It's the Y that keeps on throwing me off, right? Celestina Cooper Williams, who is the chairman of the Bahamas National Spelling Bee competition, right? And we see you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
At what time again?
At 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. Yes.
Super Club Breezes.
Super Club Breezes.
I could be outside testing them.
Yeah. What word are you going to put? You know the longest word I know?
Yeah.
Bromochlorodiphluoromethane. I learned that in grade 9.
I don't know the word as long as that.
Yeah. Anyway, Guardian Radio AM. Have a wonderful day.
Let's go! Woo! All right! Don't be no fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Chairs were made for fools to be. Locked away from society. Get involved, get involved.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.